Of President Cyril Ramaphosa. We're joined in studio now by leadership expert Dr. Mazwe Majola. Dr. Majola, thank you for joining us. And it's been quite a momentous day, hasn't it? The president began by talking about calling it a day of friendship, unity, solidarity, and cooperation. How do you personally feel on this day?
A day filled with exuberance, excitement. The people's inauguration, you could see how people were happy there. I think it was a great call to move it from the Union Building to the stadium. You could feel people were so free, to express themselves with dancing and with singing, and it was a wonderful day. The president swearing and the words that we must take very into cognizance are the oath of the words of the oath statement that is said. When he says I promise, or rather I swear to be faithful to the Republic, to be faithful to the Republic.
Yes.
Not to the ANC, but to the whole Republic,
yes.
and to obey, observe, uphold, and maintain the Constitution and all the law of the Republic. Meaning that he is the President of the Republic.
First and foremost.
First and foremost, yes. I mean, the priority should be everyone. And of course, he did say in his speech, and he has been consistent with that he is the president of the whole country, the president of the South Africa, but we know that he's also the president of the ANC.
Yes.
However, he must make sure that he becomes the president of the Republic.
So in general terms, in broad sweeping strokes, what was your impression of his speech?
It was a wonderful thing, obviously a very brief and succinct speech. I think it's about 20 minutes or
That's
25
right.
minutes, yes. I mean, just assuring the people that, yes, we do have challenges in the country.
Yes.
They are difficult, they are big, but they are not insurmountable.
Yes.
Meaning that it's kind of, I take this office and I want to assure you that when I get to the office, I'll really push everything that I have to make sure that the problems and the challenges that we have are solvable.
I know he did mention the problems and the challenges. He acknowledged, for example, that there was an erosion of state institutions by corruption. He wants to restore the dignity of crucial state agencies. And he says it's not impossible. How is he going to do this?
Well, he has done it already by making sure that he appoints right people into certain positions. We have seen that he has done it with NPA. You've seen it he has done with this new investigative unit that he has done, put someone there. So you can see that really his intention it's noble and it's good to turn things around. So in that respect, you can see that he's the kind of a person who says, I want to cover myself.
Yes.
In order to do that, I must strengthen the judiciary so that those who are the one who are going to do the job for me. For me, I must just focus and concentrate on delivering my duties and my task to South Africans. And then whatever that's happening there, let the people I appointed there to do the rest.
Jobs.
Absolutely.
So the last 15 months, he was practically in training for for the next 5 years. He was also laying the foundations for his forthcoming rule, and as you rightly pointed out, these institutions that he established to render services to South Africans, have been very vitally and carefully and strategically selected in place.
Institutions are very important in structures because, as the president, in order for him to be successful, he must be surrounded by great minds. Obviously, we are waiting in anticipation to see his cabinet and also his advisors, because these are people really who will make or break him.
Exactly.
And also look into the institutions that we have in the country, from your SARS, it's done that, the SARS, the NPA, and all these institutions that we have, that he must get right people there, competent and ethical people, and those are institutions that will, as I'm saying, that will make him successful.
Yeah, and he acknowledged that there's a struggling economy, that there's rising cost of living, that there's high unemployment, and he acknowledged these, and he asked for South Africans to pitch in and help. Don't you think that was a very timeous call from him?
Since he is taken over, really has been very, very emotional about this, growing the economy. We know that unemployment in South Africa, but 27%, 27.6%. 55% for young people, it's huge. So that is his main priorities: unemployment, economy, poverty. That obviously tripartite challenges that we have in the country.
Of challenges.
So he is very aware about them, and then you can see that he's ready, is going to make sure that he tries almost best. Already with his investment conference that he organized, his advantage is that he's from business.
Yes.
And he's from government background, but also he is from union background.
That's right.
So he will use his
experience in all of those spheres
to pull together all these key stakeholders, so that they can have one mind and one goal.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things that stood out for me that he said that there shall be no child who shall go hungry. Every child shall read. I just want to know, how is he going to make this possible? I mean, it's a serious challenge. It requires across ministry cooperation, ministries of education, of women and children, labor, etc. He's going to have to get the buy-in of multiple ministries to actually make this vision work.
He must create a very inspiring and compelling vision. And he must let all other people to buy into his vision, including the ministers that he's going to appoint, so that they all have a common and shared vision and values. If he has that, and then he'll be able to pull all these things together. The problems are there, the challenges are there. I wonder if it will take the 5 year really to deal with all this, but he can reduce them. He can deal with them. He can show people his intention to say that the privilege you've given me, the opportunity you've given me, I want to show you that given more time, I can deal with these situations.
There are also calls for a smaller and leaner cabinet when he makes his appointment next week. Looking at the current portfolios, who are the likely, ones that are likely to be affected?
I've been saying this from my side, really, that I don't want to get into personalities, that he will change this or this one, he will bring this one, because we don't know.
Yes.
Really, it's just a guess,
Speculation.
A speculation. So I don't want to get into conjectural game. However, we are talking about principles. He must get people who are competent, people who are ethical, people who are hungry for service delivery, people who are soldiers. People, when they are given the task, they must just jump into it. People who won't need to be pushed and impelled and propelled, but people who will know that I'm here as a servant of the country. I'm here to serve my people. He need, of course, to balance the experience with the new blood, So I suppose he will keep some of the
key ministries.
Key ministries or people who are there, just to keep the continuation. But also we expect him to bring more new blood who will bring energy and passion and vitality and new ideas, so that the cabinet
and also cast aside those who are tainted in some way.
Absolutely, indeed, absolutely, he will not want to be associated with those who are tainted. Yes, absolutely.
Now, you're a leadership expert. What are the leadership qualities that you see evidently in President Ramaphosa that emerged in his speech today?
Still, you can see that he's a person to bring unity. He's a negotiator. He's an amiable person,
Yes, he's liked, he's well liked, he's popular.
Absolutely, but also he's a person who says, I want to balance results and relationship.
Absolutely.
In leadership, that is very, very important. When I teach leadership to my students, I call that R&R. Yes. I say a good leader is someone who will push for results, because any leader, performance is very important. But while we are pushing results, we are also building and maintaining relationships. So you must not push results at the expense of relationship, vice versa. And also you must not go for relationship at the expense of results. So you can see that is that kind of a person who will make sure that service delivery is there, but at the same time building relationship with key stakeholders and key people.
Now, as a leader, he's also going to have to deal with contending voices and opposing voices from the opposition parties in parliament. How is he going to handle this?
I argue that, like in any leadership position, pressure is there. Leadership position brings with it some pressure. So I believe that Ramaphosa is faced with probably 5 pressures. Pressure number 1 is coming from himself. I say that pressure from self, from himself as a leader, because as a leader there will be the pressure that you will get in terms of to deliver, in terms of you as a leader wanting to be successful, wanting to do good. So that brings pressure.
And to match his vision.
Yes, to make sure that as I'm taking over, I want to do this, I want to do this. So that in itself brings pressure to you as a leader. But also there is a pressure from his own party. The pressure about the factions. So he's always have to wash his back, which is very, very unfortunate, because whatever he does, he must make sure that he keeps...
Build unity, strengthen the party.
Strengthen the party, make sure that everyone is happy, which would be very, very impossible to make everyone happy. And to make sure that he takes decision, but at the same time keeping the party happy. But there is a pressure from opposition as well. As we are saying that in parliament, the opposition, they will be hammering on him. We want to see you performing, President. Another pressure is from the whole country now. For everyone in South Africa, they are looking up to him. They want to see that unemployment is dealt with, poverty is dealt with, and then everything. And also, of course, the last pressure is from international world. Everyone internationally, they're looking upon to him.
Well, and we wish him well in his pressure-filled future for the next 5 years. Well, thank you very much indeed for joining us. That was our leadership expert, Dr. Mazwe Majola. You're watching SABC News. We'll take a short break and we'll be back right after this. Don't go away.